Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Alex Currington coming to you from the Voice of the Heart Center. Welcome to the How Are You Feeling Today podcast, a podcast for kids and parents who have feelings. I'm really glad you're joining me today. Each time we're together, we check in on one very important question. How are you feeling today? Not what were you feeling yesterday or what do you think you'll feel tomorrow, but what are you feeling in this moment, right here, right now? Take just a moment, look into your heart, and answer the question. Am I feeling anger, fear, hurt, sad, lonely, shame, guilt, or glad? If you have someone in the room with you that you can share it with, look at them and name all the feelings that you have right now. If you're listening to this alone, think for a moment to yourself, who could I share this with today? The gathering pool became a place that was at the center of jungle life for the animals, a place of belonging, mattering, and community. The animals were able to be themselves there. They didn't have to pretend to be something else. Day after day, Theo, Kai, and the rest of the animals would return to the pool. They all had their usual ways of arrival. Some would arrive with a loud noise, while others would just quietly arrive in their own time, almost as if they just suddenly appeared from nowhere. Kai liked to rest near the edge of the pool. His tail would slowly flick in and out of the water. Turtle usually floated quietly in the pool. Monkey, on the other hand, would swing in from the vines and land with a loud thump. Sometimes it would catch the others off guard and they would jump. The chameleon could be found on a low branch, shifting between shades of green. Ellie, the toucan, just sat above the pool, her bright beak catching the light. Orange, yellow, and black would shine brightly against the leaves. They all belonged there. They could share about what was happening in their families. As they talked, they would laugh about the different things that happened around the jungle. Monkey shared a story about missing a vine and landing head first in the mud. As they were sharing, Ellie became excited to share a story of her own. She tilted her head forward, took a deep breath, and said, "I found a new perch this morning. You can see the whole jungle from up there." Before she could finish, the monkey piped in and said, "Sitting on the perch with that big old beak, I don't see how you don't just tip over." A few laughs followed. Not loud laughs, not mean laughs, but quick laughs. Ellie froze. Her wings pulled in close to her body. The bright colors on her beak did not feel bright anymore. Ellie was hurt. She did not say anything. She just lifted into the air and flew away from the gathering pool toward the tall trees where the eagles usually rested. Theo noticed right away. He watched Ellie take to the sky, her wings beating faster than usual. Theo didn't say anything at first. He just spread his wings and followed her. Ellie landed on a high branch away from the others. She faced the jungle, but her eyes were looking towards the ground. Theo landed near, careful not to crowd Ellie. They sat in silence for a moment, and finally Theo spoke. "You left pretty fast." Ellie couldn't even look at Theo. She said, "My beak is always the first thing anyone notices. Sometimes I wish it wasn't." Theo said, "What happened back there?" Ellie's voice began to wobble just a bit before she spoke softly. "When they laughed, it really hurt. I felt silly for even sharing." Theo nodded. He didn't rush anything. He just noticed. He said, "I would feel hurt too." Ellie took a deep breath. "I don't want to disappear," she said. "I just didn't want to stay there at the gathering pool." Theo looked out over the jungle, then he looked back at her. "Do you want help telling them what hurt you?" he asked. Ellie thought for a while. She really wanted to ignore it, but she knew she needed to tell the truth, and she nodded her beak. Together they flew back down to the gathering pool. The others noticed right away. Ellie landed near the water. Her voice was quiet but steady. "When you laughed earlier, it hurt me. I was excited to share something, and I felt hurt when you laughed at me." No one laughed this time. Monkey's ears drooped. "What I said was not kind," he said. "I'm sorry." Kai stepped closer. "Thank you for telling us the truth about how you feel." The air around the gathering pool felt different, softer now. Ellie let out a deep, slow breath. She did not fly away this time, she stayed. Theo watched her, noticing how brave Ellie had been to tell the truth about her hurt. The jungle hummed quietly around them, and the gathering pool felt like home again. Not because the animals there would never feel hurt, but because it was safe to tell the truth there. Ellie tucked in her wings and smiled, proudly displaying her beautiful black, orange, and yellow beak. Hurt is a feeling that lets us know that we have pain. Hurt can be physical, like a scraped knee. Hurt can also be a feeling in our hearts. You feel hurt when someone says something unkind to you, someone makes fun of you, and everyone else laughs. You're not chosen to be part of the team. A friend does not want to be with you. Sometimes when you feel hurt, you might cry or shed some tears. You might want to be by yourself or pretend you're not hurt. You might say things that are mean to other people. You might also stop doing the things that you like to do. When is a time that you felt like Ellie the toucan? Kids and parents share together about a time you felt hurt. This could be a time that you felt physical pain or pain in your heart. Someone could have said something that hurt you or did not include you in something that was really important to you. If you would like, pause this podcast and share with each other. Hurt is your heart saying, "I feel pain." When we feel hurt and can tell the truth about our pain, we can find the healing and courage that we need. It's time for a new segment of the podcast called Say the Rest. This is a segment where I'm going to begin a sentence and you are going to finish it. There's no right or wrong answers here, just the truth about how you would finish the sentence. Let's get started. All right, first up, Ellie felt hurt when blank. You might remember what happened to Ellie in the story, or you might think of a time that you felt hurt and noticed it happening with Ellie too. Ellie felt hurt when blank. Okay, next one. When I feel hurt, I usually blank. When I feel hurt, I usually blank. Say the rest. Some people, when they feel hurt, pull away, some get quiet, or some just pretend like they're fine. All right, the next one. Something that helps me when I feel hurt is blank. Something that helps me when I feel hurt is... It might be that telling someone the truth helps you when you feel hurt. Or maybe when you are being listened to, or possibly just knowing that someone cares. Let's do the next one. My hurt is trying to tell me that I need blank. My hurt is trying to tell me that I need... Hurt often shows us that we need care, kindness, or understanding. All right, let's move to the next one. When I tell someone the truth about feeling hurt, I hope... When I tell someone the truth about feeling hurt, I hope blank. Maybe you are hoping that someone will understand you, or hope that someone says, "I'm sorry," just like the monkey did in our story. Or maybe you hope you don't have to carry it alone. When I feel hurt, Something small that helps me feel better is blank. When I feel hurt, something small that helps me feel better is... All right, go ahead. Say the rest. Something small that helps you feel better could be a hug, sitting down to draw, being with your pet, laughing, or maybe just sitting quietly. Okay, we're going to do one more together. Get ready. When people feel hurt, they usually need attention and comfort. So here's the last one. If I had wings like Ellie, I would fly to blank when I needed comfort. If I had wings like Ellie, I would fly to when I needed comfort. Go ahead, say the rest one more time. Way to go! Hurt is not something that only I feel. It's not something that just you feel. Hurt is a feeling that every human being will experience. That includes your dad, mom, your brother or sister, even your teacher or coach. All of them feel hurt. When you feel hurt, you can tell someone who loves you how you feel. You can say, please stop, or tell a teacher or parent if someone is being mean to you or others. You can ask someone who loves you and you trust to tell you about a time they felt hurt and talk about what to do. You can spend time with a kind friend. And always tell God about your hurt and thank Him for being with you. Before we go, here's one more thing we can do together today. Find a quiet moment to sit down with someone you love and draw a picture of a time you felt hurt. You don't have to explain it all, just draw. Then, if you want, take turns sharing your pictures. If you'd like to share it with me, you can email it to me at alex@vothcenter.com. That's alex@vothcenter.com. And parents, there are resources for you around today's podcast and the feeling hurt. You can find those resources at howareyoufeelingtoday.net. And parents, all that information will be written for you in the show notes of this podcast. You might be surprised at how much it helps to tell the truth when you feel hurt. Telling the truth will help you discover healing and the courage to keep showing up to life even when it hurts. This has been the How Are You Feeling Today podcast, a podcast for kids and parents who have feelings. Thank you for sharing your heart, and until next time, keep heart.